I basically told him I was leaving. I said, if anyone's got an issue, we'll go out the front, we'll sort it out now. I said, I don't want to hear about it in 2 days' time that you're bitching and moaning that, take his bike. And they all said, oh, no, sorry to see you go. They all hugged me as they walked out the door. And then 2 days later, when Interstate came over, fuck him, take his bike.
I thought about it for a long time before actually making the decision.
Tyson took 6 months, had 6 months off before he left. A good friend of his was treated badly by the club, so he'd sort of lost faith in it all.
The whole scene had changed. There was no brotherhood. It wasn't about loyalty or respect anymore. It was about power, tripping egos and greed.
Leading up to getting out after serving close to 9 years, I looked at a lot of the harms that had been caused by me in the community. So it was a case of, I'm sick of jail. I don't want to hurt anyone in the community, including family and victims. And I started to feel a lot of remorse for the things that I'd done.
Just after I got out off parole, I got full custody of my son. He was 8 at the time. I was just sitting around one day looking at him and just thinking, this is not a life I want for my son. And the only way to get around that is leave.
I just made a phone call and told them that they could get fucked and we'd go set my club gear back.
Yeah, it wasn't as easy as Tyson's. There might have been a couple of incidents that happened that, it wasn't as easy as Tyson, we'll put it that way.
I walked out with nothing. I kept my bike, but I didn't have a cent. I had to sell anything that I did have or accumulated through my years of the club. I've had to sell to pay my bills.
Bank took my house, acted criminally by doing it too. Just everything sort of piled on at once.
I'd rather be broke and battling than have to go back to a life, the values that I don't think are there anymore, to make a dollar.
I had a lot of support from the church community. I was involved in going to chapel and stuff while I was in custody. So they supported me a lot once I was released from custody.
For 3 months I didn't even leave my house. Just, I suppose I went through a bout of depression and really I thought that I was never going to get anywhere and just locked myself down, shut myself off and tried to deal with it that way, which doesn't really work.
You leave the club and you're isolated, you got no one, because my whole life was the club. And I had no one for a long time. So I had one mate that sort of stuck by me, and that was it. So until I met Kirby, and that was no one.
Got into employment, and I found that it was really hard to obviously have that much prison and apply for jobs. I'd put special consideration letters in that were saying, this is who I am, this is what I want to do. But I mean, that stigma that comes from having a criminal record and having a lengthy period of time in jail hinders you from a lot of the things that you want to do.
Finding work I thought would be hard. I've just spent the last 14 years of my life in an outlaw club. I've made some silly decisions, as we can tell, with tattoos and what have you. I have a criminal record. I was thinking, who's going to employ me?